Good day to you, fellow plant lovers. So a few weeks ago, a couple of months maybe even, I can't remember, I made a video with Anna's Violets all about my wish list plants. It was 5 wish list plants. And then a few weeks later, I made another video all about subscribers' wish list plants, which came up in the comments of the first video. So this particular video is all about those wish list plants, and did I actually get any from either list? So let's take a look. And we are in. So out of the 5 plants that I had on my wish list, I only actually got one of them. I actually got 2 of the same one. So we're looking at it, and I actually got this one, the gorgeous Monstera albo variegata, that came with 2 leaves, and it has a beautiful big fat root down there in the moss, and I'm just waiting to get some new shoots, some new growth coming up there. It's obviously not a quick grower at this particular stage of its development. It might grow much more quickly later on. I'm hoping it's in a good place there. The roots are okay, the roots are coming, so that's a good sign, isn't it? We just need some growth there to see some actual growth. So this was from a good friend, a subscriber. Her name is Fiona, and she swapped me this for some various plants that I had. And I'm always up for swaps. If anybody lives in the UK and has something they want to swap and wants to deal with me through email, my email is always available on the YouTube channel. So Monstera albo variegata. We're not going to talk about care for these things. I just want to go through the wish list plants and tell you what I got and what I didn't get. So that one is the Monstera albo variegata, which is also the same as this one, from another good friend, Smar, who has her own channel. I don't know what she's calling it these days. And what's so great about this one is that this one actually has 2 new leaves. Now this one had a great big root on it and one kind of half dead leaf, which I've cut off most of the half dead leaf, but you can actually see that is a brand new leaf. And that one is a brand new leaf. Not much green on them, but that's the whole point of albo variegata, isn't it? So hopefully that shows that that's in a good position and that's growing really well for me. So out of my 5 wish list plants, I only have the 1 variety so far. And the reason for that is not because I've not been able to buy them, it's simply because my plans and my hopes and wishes have totally changed. And they changed when I actually read in the comments of other people's wish list plants, and once I'd actually looked them up, and honestly I looked up every single wish list plant that people put in the comments of that first video, and my own thoughts on those things completely changed when I saw what fantastic plants other people had on their wish list, and I then replaced my own wish list with their plants. So I've actually got quite a number of other people's wish list plants, which became my own, of course. So let's have a look at some of those. So first one up is this lemon lime Maranta, or Maranta lemon and lime. And this one is doing really well at the moment. It came with only 1 or 2 leaves and it's grown really, really well. It kind of grows off at a sideways angle. I'm sure some of you who have these things will know more than I do about it. And I believe it's quite easy to propagate. So once it grows a bit bigger, I'm going to propagate it. Not with an idea of selling it, but just with an idea of swapping it. I think, is it Edward who I promised one to? I can't remember, but he'll know who he is. And when I propagate one, he can just hit me up and I'll send him one. He only lives reasonably local. So that is the Maranta lemon and lime. I really like that. In fact, so much so that I actually looked up other Marantas to see if there's any more that I like. And I like one that's called Silver Stripe, I think. Really like that one. And I actually like the common one, the Fascinator one. I know this one is a lot more expensive than the Fascinator one, but the Fascinator one has something extra, I think. It has that kind of purple line along the veins. I like that, even though it's a lot cheaper. So let's move on to the next one off your wish list plants that I bought for myself. So next one up is Philodendron Pink Princess. I'm really sorry about these sticky traps. I know they look horrible. And I have actually sent off, while we're talking about fungus gnats, for a proper manufactured cure, if you can want to call it that. It's not chemical, I think it's Bravado, and it is actually an organic solution. Loads of good reviews, but then hopefully I'll be able to remove some of these yellow traps full of dead flies. But yeah, so this one is Philodendron Pink Princess. I actually got this from crocus.co.uk, free plug for you there. And this was not really that expensive considering how expensive they have been and they can be. I think this was only about £20, 27, maybe 30 with postage, because the postage was quite a lot. So yeah, I'm not getting a lot of pink on it at the moment. That leaf there with the pink on was already there, but of course it's very small, but at least it's growing, so I know it's reasonably happy. My biggest problem is holding back on the water, because I do tend to overwater these things when they're not really ready for it. Moving on. So next on the list was total surprise. This was a guy at the Orchid Society who actually gave me this for nothing. So I believe this one is Alocasia amazonica. That's what it looks like to me anyway. Nobody's actually given me the thumbs up on that, but it looks like that to me. Again, I don't think it's doing that well at the moment. I don't really know the conditions that it likes. I haven't actually got round to looking it up. I've given it a general aroid mix, so let's see how that does. I'm hoping that we get some new growth on that soon. I know that's pretty common, but I still quite like it. I think it has a place here in the hothouse. So the last plant on my list is one that was recommended in the comments, just in kind of passing. And at first I did look it up and I wasn't that thrilled with it. And I think that was more to do with just the kind of funk that I was in at the moment. I wasn't looking for that kind of plant, but the more I looked at it, the more it popped up in my newsfeed, in various social media, you know the thing, I'm sure they're listening in, but it just kept cropping up, and the more I saw it, the more I liked it. And then I kind of became a little bit obsessed with it, because that's what plant people do, and I really wanted it, so I looked it up, and it was really, really expensive, like completely out of my reach. We're talking several £100s. If you wanted a decent sized plant, you could be talking even thousands of pounds. But for a medium size, say 2 or 3 large leaves on it, roughly 250 up to £500. And obviously I couldn't go and pay that amount, or I wasn't prepared to pay that amount. So eventually, after loads and loads of searching and loads of save searches, loads of emails from Etsy and from eBay, eventually I come across one which was of the size that the price was what I considered reasonable anyway. Not everybody would think this a reasonable price. I actually paid about 60 to 70 pounds, can't remember exactly, 60 to 70 pounds for this tiny little thing. Okay, this is Anthurium warraqueanum. It's the queen Anthurium. Well, okay, it's not very queenly at the moment, is it? But what it does have, it has a good set of roots on it. It has nice, healthy, velvety leaves, and it will eventually get to be a decent size, if of course I don't let it die. And the fact that so far it's unfurled a brand new leaf for me and the roots are still looking pretty good, I think it's in a happy place. It's certainly very humid in here. It's pretty light as well. So I can expect, I don't know how long it's going to take, but you know, that's what it's about. I don't want to buy a mature plant that's done and dusted. I might as well just buy an artificial plant if that's the case. I want to grow it. I want to have some satisfaction at changing it from being that tiny little thing to being something that's worth looking at and everybody stops to mention it. That's what I'm after. So that really is the pièce de résistance. I have got a few more that I'm going to show you that weren't necessarily on my wish list, but would have been if I'd have seen them in the first place. So let's have a look at a few more that you won't have seen in my hothouse. So not on the wish list, but I'm going to show these because it was a result of your wish list that made me get into these. So this is Anthurium chrystallinum, and it came with these 2 beautiful leaves. Again, you've got to see the mature plant to see what it's capable of, but so far it's produced this absolutely beautiful, sweet little velvety, shiny, reddy pink leaf. So I'm quite happy with that one. So let's have a look at what else we've got. So this is Philodendron melanochrysum, and what's so good about this beautiful velvety thing is we have, coming back here, if I can just move it round a bit, so a beautiful new growth coming on that. Loads and loads of roots. This seems to be really, really happy in sphagnum moss. So I'm very, very pleased that that's coming on as well. Again, directly as a result of your wish list plants. Got me a little bit aroid obsessed. I know loads of people love aroids, but for me, never heard of them, never grown them. So it's going to be great to see how that develops. So let's have a look at another one. And I think this one, I'm getting confused with some of these, but I think this one might have been a free gift from Fiona. This one is Philodendron verrucosum, is it? Verrucosum. And I've had that one since February. Again, we've got a nice new growth coming on there. The little fungus gnats flying about there seem to enjoy growing in like an aroid mix. And I thought they didn't like that kind of mix, but anyway, again, that's another reason why I need to tackle these pesky little blighters, which I will. But hopefully that one should be okay as soon as I get rid of all the fungus gnat larvae that's eating all the roots. So they're all the plants on my wish list that I bought, or from your wish list that I changed my mind on and updated my own wish list and ended up either buying myself or getting as a swap or actually acquiring as a free gift. So what I would like you to put in the comments, is there anything else that's really burning a hole in your head at the moment that you really want? Write it in the comments. I always love to see suggestions because I look them up. You know, I'm as interested as you are in these things. And I think in future I'll probably do another wish list because I think it's quite really interesting to share that around. If there's anything that people like about tropical plants and house plants, call them what you will, is seeing new ones, is seeing what other people are growing and to see if it's something that they would like and they'd like to grow it. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed that, and I'll put a card up here of the original video, not from my wish list plant, but your wish list, the subscribers wish list plant. So go and watch that if you want to be reminded of all the wonderful plants that you'd like to grow. And for now, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.